Hey everyone, it's Graham and you're here with me for my half Ironman training blog. I am now less than 2 weeks to go until the half Ironman Poconos. I just got the Ironman Poconos athlete guide. I believe it's 35 pages long. This is my first athlete guide that I'm having to get for a triathlon. Gotta be honest, the tone in it, all the things, the 3 different bags that I have to have, the green bag for the morning bag, the gear bag for the bike bag. I have to use their bags that they issue to us. You have to basically set up your T1 and T2 the day before, which is, I guess, okay and probably standard. I'm not really sure. A little bit stressful because, it makes both days really part of the race. In fact, Saturday is probably just as important as Sunday is, the actual event. All new to me, so having to drive all around a town that I've never been to and drop stuff off and make sure everything's there and not be the typical forgetful self that I am, even with my little checklists and everything. I'm kind of manic, the preparation for the course, especially since I have no idea what the weather is going to be. I'm predicting cool, cloudy, and crappy, to be honest with you, which is fine. I don't mind those conditions. In fact, all told, from a performance perspective, I probably perform better in those kinds of conditions than bright, sunny, and hot. The trick is, however, is that I've never added, a mile plus, river swim before getting on the bike and freezing my butt off for, 2.5, 3 hours, whatever it is. So a little bit of a concern with that. Moving into the hardest phase right now, which is the tapering phase. Never been a fan of tapering, I've told you that before. Much like you, I want to be training. I want to be doing something today. Doing nothing just doesn't agree well with me. I'm going to try to do my best to occupy myself with a book and take care of myself and massage myself and all those little tips that I give you. But at the end of the day, yeah, I'd rather be out, enjoying the journey to get there, which I think probably is something that you can relate to for whatever goal you may be trying to get to. Quick tip today. I keep reading these things from pro triathletes and all these experts for triathlon that it's advised that during the taper weeks that you remove caffeine or coffee from your diet. Now, I'm not a big caffeine user, to be honest with you. I usually have one medium-sized cup in the morning, full strength. I don't sit here and pop caffeine tabs during the day. I don't use a lot of caffeine in ride. Sometimes I use like chop blocks, which have like 25 milligrams of caffeine per dose. I mean, that's nothing. Everyone says, you should remove caffeine during your taper week. I'm like, it's a pretty tall order. So you're going to have someone that's pretty run down, depleted, anxious, and then remove something that they're used to having in their diet the last week. It's kind of ironic to me that so many experts are going to say, don't make any changes to your diet the last week before your event. Yet all these pros are saying, well, drop, one of the most addictive things you probably have in your diet, which is caffeine. And make no mistake, it definitely is an addictive product. Again, one that I don't overuse, but one that, the first thing in the morning, I want my coffee. In fact, I don't think I can go out and train in any capacity without having my coffee first, for multiple different reasons. And I'll let you decipher what those reasons may be, other than just, a wake-up call in the morning. So I don't think I'm going to try doing that. And I appreciate all the tips and stuff from the pros on removing coffee, but, you do this for a living. I don't. I've got, 3 kids to feed. I've got a business to run. I've got 50 other things on my plate other than just preparing for my half Ironman. So definitely going to be preparing for it and focused on it. But during the taper week or weeks, it's really important to balance everything out, which is not easy to do. One of the things I won't do is probably remove something that I enjoy. And do rely on in some ways to wake up. Maybe you don't drink coffee, maybe you drink tea, and good for you. But I've been a coffee drinker most of my life. Again, I don't sit here and chug coffee all day long. I have 1 cup a day, so sue me. Final weeks for taper. Right now I'm still in a bit of a load set of training. I've been training really hard the past 2 weeks, as I should have been. I've had quite a few breakthroughs with my training. Feeling good, really tight through my core and through my adductors for my groin muscles. It's coming from a lot of low position riding, which I'm not used to as a roadie, meaning staying aero for 50, 60 plus miles every single ride, really aero. Puts a lot of strain into the core group. And then getting off the bike and lengthening your body out and moving into the run. Especially lately, I've been putting a lot of time into hill repeats and hill climbing in the run, both on single track, double track, and of course the road. I'm doing that because I'm expecting the course to be relatively technical, and even though I won't have really steep gradient climbs, I like working with those steep gradient climbs in my training because it helps me over-prepare for the strength that will be required at mile 10 of the half marathon for the finish. That's my belief. That's always been my belief, is to over-prepare for certain things you think you're going to be weak on. And being a relatively heavier set guy, yeah, the climbing in both the bike and the run do concern me. I want to have enough strength that when I get there, I can do that. I probably have 1 or 2 more key sessions left, probably 1. There's a sprint triathlon this coming weekend I got to decide if I want to do right here in my local area. I've only been able to do it 1 time. It's been a whole series the whole year, but my life has just been crazy with the new baby and the hurricane and everything else. It's been one thing after another, and I haven't been able to go and do the series. To be honest with you, not a big deal because the sprint training, I've done 3 of them now. It's hard and it's high intensity. And other than really the transition phases, which is why I'm probably going to go on Saturday, that intensity is not what I'll be using for a half Ironman. Really want to be going probably on Saturday just to get used to get another edition of pack swimming in, which is top priority. Exiting the water, moving into T1, getting out on the bike, getting my bearings, getting used to putting intention onto the bike. I am using a little bit of a lower gearing right now on the bike, preparing. One of the reasons I've been testing using a slower cadence, higher tension principles before moving into the run, and it's definitely helped me improve my leg turnover in the run, which is a good pro tip, by the way, which I've heard many times before, a little bit more of an 80, 85 RPM cadence, which is not my riding style anymore. I'm more in the 95 plus category. However, for 56 miles, I will probably oscillate between low cadence and mid cadence, so when I get to the run, my legs can kick over a little bit faster. We'll talk more about that later. But yeah, I've only got probably 1 more good bike in me, 1 more run, and probably 3 or 4 more swims. I'll probably swim 3 or 4 more times in the next, 10, 12 days before the event. Swimming doesn't really tire me out, even when I swim hard. I just don't feel tired when I'm done, especially if I'm not bricking it. And I'd like to put some more time into the swim. The biggest concerns I have for the swim, for the actual event, is number 1, the murkiness of the water that we're expecting. It's a river swim in the Delaware River Gap. It's been flooded from all the hurricane water for the past several weeks. I'm pretty sure that by come race day, it's still going to be pretty murky, if not just like pea soup. You can't see. That's not easy to do. Even if you're trying to draft off someone in the water and you can't see their feet because of the murkiness of the water, yeah, uncomfortable. Add to that, it's supposed to be like 60 degrees or lower for the water temperatures. We can't do a practice swim on Thursday. You can't do one on Friday. You can't do one on Saturday. You have 4 minutes before your wave starts to get in the water to acclimatize. You can't just jump in and do, start to warm yourself up, 20 minutes in advance. No. You have 4 minutes to jump in, get used to 60-degree waters, and go. Can't say I'm a fan of how they set this up. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels like that. This is an inaugural event for Ironman Poconos. Don't take it as a stab, race promoter, but yeah, I think there's some concerns from a lot of the racers. Not trying to be whiny about it, but hey, I've prepared all this time for this. What I don't want to do is get to the event and have, a whole bunch of things that are out of my control, make for a really not pleasant day. But there's nothing I can do about that. So what? You show up, you do the best you can, you have your coffee before you start. And you go from there. I think last thing I could share with you about getting ready for this thing, it's definitely been trying. I've been enjoying the training. I really do, actually. It's nice to be able to switch it up for a while from just basic road cycling. I've been on my mountain bike a lot. I was on my cross bike yesterday. doing tension drills. I've been doing, a lot of aerodynamic work. I've been doing a lot of run work, a lot of run bricks, a lot of swimming. Really enjoying it, I gotta be honest. But it's been really tough to balance out with everything else that's going on in my life. I'd love to say that it's been, all, downhill and really easy to do, but no, it's definitely not been. Pretty beat up, pretty tired, pretty stressed like a lot of other people are. If I had to do it again to get ready for it at this time with all that's going on, yeah, I'd probably still do it. I wouldn't do anything different. I think my training's been right on par. We'll see come race day. My nutrition's been okay. I give myself like a B average, which is fine, really. I've tried to make my nutrition perfect. I've been accomplishing getting all my vegetables in like I told you that I would each day. That's been great. That's really helped me out, by the way. I feel really good. Trying to prioritize my nutrition pre, in, and post training. Trying to do my best to not eat a lot before I go to bed, but I gotta be honest, with as much training as I've been doing, I've been getting really hungry before bed. So I've been eating like bowls of cereals and stuff, and it's always a compromise between, wanting to get a little bit leaner, which I have been getting leaner, and making sure you have enough energy to meet your next day. I tend to be one of those people that will tend to remove food in an attempt to get leaner. My body wants to eat. It's a big engine and wants a lot of food. Unfortunately, I can't control how much weight that chooses to store or not. So a lot of times I have to balance out between, being lean and light and being strong and high energy. Which one would you choose? Both, I wish. Not easy to achieve, but you do the best with what you have. I think that as I move into taper here, my body will continue to lean up even more. The big trick, of course, during recovery is trusting the work that you've put in, trusting your body, and getting out of the way, which I don't do well. I can preach it well, I can put it on a podcast, I can put it here on the video. Yeah, I don't do it well either. The idea of sitting here and waiting, for my body to get even stronger, to get even leaner, all on its own without, participating, other than just, sitting here. I don't understand it. I don't, it's a really interesting thing in relation to the human body. It's an amazing thing, actually, to see that it can consistently repair and tighten itself down and make itself more elastic and more powerful by doing absolutely nothing. Today is a rest day for me. It's Wednesday, a week and a half before the event. Could I go out and train today? Yeah. Do I want to? Yeah. Am I going to? No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to go train today. I could run today, but I'm not going to. I could bike today. I'm not going to. I had a really good session yesterday. I did basically triathlon yesterday. And I've been doing multiple, actually, mini triathlons on my own for weeks now. So no, I don't need to go train today. I'm going to listen and chill. Tomorrow I'll do an open water swim with a friend. Again, he's really been helping me learning the draft and working with that. Really helps. I mean, I'll finish here. I know I've been blathering, but getting behind someone in a bike helps. Obviously, I can't draft in a half Ironman or any sanctioned triathlon, but swimming you can draft, and wow, what a difference drafting makes. I swam with him yesterday. He's an experienced Ironman finisher, triathlete, adventure enthusiast. This guy is hardcore. And he brought me out to the open water yesterday and worked with me on pacing, things like that. And yeah, I'm used to training in the water, even open water, all by myself, pushing, going hard, just me and my little stopwatch. And to get someone behind them and draft and really work with that, I mean, talk about an energy saver. Really key to not pin your heart rate in the swim, which is a concern for this event. You can go to the Ironman Poconos.com or whatever, go find them on Facebook. You can go look at the swim course if you want. In fact, maybe I'll post it here on the Triathlon X blog. You got to basically sprint your butt off to get to the first buoy, and it looks like it's going to make a hard left, then upstream, and then a hard long turn downstream. So I'm going to imagine that a lot of the strong swimmers are going to use that as a big advantage per wave and try to get out fast, cut hard, and just gun it to the first top end of the buoy to get to the downstream length. I got to decide if I want to try to hole shot with them and probably redline myself right off the bat, which will probably happen anyway since you only got 4 minutes to acclimatize to the water temperature, which is going to bring your heart rate up whether you want it to or not, and then swim in murky water that you can't see in a place you've never been. I'll probably not hole shot it. I'll probably hang on some feet until the corner and then take a quick, gander around and be looking for the person with the best flow of stroke at that point, and then grab some feet. I'm no one's hero in the water, and I'm not going to try to lead out. There's just no way. Getting out of the water and into T1 is going to be nasty. I tried putting on arm warmers yesterday after I stripped down. I tried taking off my wet tri-top to put on a dry one. Hello, people. How do you do this? I can barely do it dry, let alone wet. How are people getting out of the water, soaking wet, freezing your butt off, and then switching into a tight, tri-top? Maybe it's just because I'm, big and bulky up top. I don't know, but I can't do it. So yeah, major concern for that day. Do I wear socks for freeze? Again, I'm expecting 40-degree temps that morning for the bike after getting out freezing cold of the water. That's cold, my friends. Very cold. And if you're moving at 20, 25 miles an hour, yeah, it can make for a really interesting morning and a really interesting day. It takes so much energy just to heat your body back up. Do you take the time to put on socks? Do you take the time to put on a vest? Do you take the time to put on a jacket you may have to peel back off? I don't know. The weather's been relatively decent here the past several weeks. A little bit crappier now, but still a concern for, what do you want to do come race day? Because trying to put on arm warmers was impossible. I got them like up to here, and it was just like liquid steel. You can't pull them up any further because they don't want to slide on wet skin. I mean, I'll put as much, of that, body glide crap on there as I can, but I still don't anticipate that's really going to help a huge amount. Maybe I'll put them inside the arm warmers themselves. I'm not really sure. Anyway, last thing we'll probably discuss, come the end of the week, is I'm still debating about what I'm going to do for food before the event. Do I want to eat or not? I've got a 7:27 wave start. I'm like halfway through. I'm kind of in a good position actually for my wave start. I think I'm 7th wave out of 15, I want to say. So right there in the middle. Good spot to be. I mean, I can watch the first couple, and I'm not dead last, which is not where I want to be. So I'm kind of right there in the middle spot, which is good. 7:30 start, that means I need to wake up at, 4:30 if I want to eat, or probably earlier than that. If it was cycling, I wouldn't eat anything. Zero. Just my cup of coffee, have my in-ride stuff ready to go, and presto. With this, because of the swim first, gotta be honest, I don't swim well with food in my stomach. I just don't. So that food had better digest in 3 hours, or otherwise I'm gonna be burping whatever I ate the entire swim. And if you've ever been a swimmer, which I'm sure many of you have, or have done triathlon, you know that burping food while you're swimming is not a pleasant experience. It's already not pleasant anyway, but to do it, burping food is not overly fun. Yeah, I'd probably say I'm gonna eat, but I'm probably gonna have a protein-based meal, not a carb-based meal. Probably some scrambled eggs if I can get them. Maybe some sustained energy or heed, sipping on that prior. I've done the gel thing before a swim. Never again. I'll never do gels before a swim. Just terrible for me. Even the hammer gel, which I love, can't do it. I can't do it before a swim. But what I will probably do for the in-ride is a combination of heed, sustained energy, hammer gel, chalk blocks, anti-fatigue caps, and endurance aminos. I've got a little case now for the front of my bike that I'll be using for that. Not using my P3, not using my TT specific bike for the course. I think I've mentioned that. I'm going to be using the Cervelo S3 set up with some aero bars. Very fast bike, a bike that I'm very confident with myself on, both for flat out speed and for maneuverability and climbing. Very solid machine on me. It fits me like a glove. P3 still fits me well. I just don't think this is going to be a very TT specific course, just based on what I've seen. The topography, the conditions of the roads. There's many roads that are still closed down. You can't even get on right now for the course. I know they'll say they'll have them fixed and this and that, but it's the Poconos of Pennsylvania in October. The road conditions are not going to be, great ever. And I'm used to that. I'm a New Englander. So yeah, I'm used to going out and getting jarred around and bostled and off-cambered corners and high-speed descents with sand pits in there. Yeah, I mean, that's every day for me. So not too concerned with that, but definitely want a bike that's quick, agile, and bike handling as priority, and then flat out speed. And again, this bike is flat out. It's a fast bike, and I'm dialed in on it, so I'm not too concerned about that. For the run, I got my Sauconys and I'm gonna head on out. And major emphasis is to get to the run and not crack, because I've never done this distance before, not even close. So got to decide, do I want to press it hard on the bike? Do I want to use my strength on the bike and really dish it out and then take my chances in the run, or hold back just a little bit in the bike and save some of that energy for the run? I'm probably going to err on the side of holding back a little bit, mostly because I just don't know the unknown of myself that distance in a race for the run. I've done brick sessions that are pretty tough, but nothing like that. So I'm going to hold off and take this as an experience, number one, which is how I'll finish today. I think it's important that you know that I'm not going here to break any land speed records or swim records, or hey, I'm in the top 10% of this. I really just don't care. I care about a new experience, something fun to try, something fun to fail with throughout. Learn a lot of lessons, I'm sure, things that I can share with you that hopefully benefit you. And go from there. I've heard so many stories about people getting into triathlon and just going gangbusters. In the first year or two, they go after an Ironman, things like that, and they just blow themselves apart. My goal for next year, into 2012, is actually not to go after an Ironman. I know a lot of you are probably expecting me to probably do that, and actually I was expecting that out of myself too. But having just trained for a half so far, I'll probably tell you I'm not going to shoot for that for 2012. What I'd rather do is really go after the Olympic distance, and the Xterras. The Xterra is really at the top of my priority list. That's really where my passion is for triathlon, is Xterra, not just typical road triathlon. I like being out in the woods. I like the mountain bike. I like trail running. That's where I do most of my training anyway. So Xterra really appeals to my personal nature. I'll probably shoot for another half Ironman next year. Which one, I have no idea yet. There's a lot to choose from. And go from there, but I'm probably not going to go for an Ironman next year, just based on first assumptions. But maybe I'll feel different when I finish the 70.3. Bottom line is my family comes first, my business comes first, taking care of, doing things right for my business comes first. And to train for an Ironman and do all that, with the things that we're going through for the company, probably going to hold off. I think that's a wise maneuver. Otherwise, I'm going to burn myself out. I mean, life's too short to just throttle everything together in one spot and say, hey, this is everything right now. You got to get all the experience in 1 or 2 years. No. There's so many different things we can do. Don't fry yourself. Enjoy it. This is the best part. I'm enjoying this part probably more than anything. It's just the getting ready for it. The event itself, yeah, I look forward to it, and I hope I do well come race day. I'm going to do everything in my power to do well come event day. But this is the part that I like the most. This is the part that I look back on and yearn for the most, is the preparation for it, all the things I had to get through to get to the event, not the event itself. The event itself is just like the icing on the cake, especially if you have a good day. But I never just think back to the event. I think back to the feelings that I had getting ready for it. Maybe you can feel the same. I hope these tips have been helpful. Sorry this blogcast has been so long, but I want to share what was going on with me. Overall, feeling good, confident, excited, which is all the things you want to feel right now. If you're feeling depressed and tired and lethargic, probably doing too much. Be nice to yourself. Remember why you're doing this. I'm trying to remind myself every day. I'll talk to you later.